Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Round 5 of the Intelligence Racing League Division 2 Sprint Championship. Tonight you join us at Monza in Italy, just in the north of the country, near the border of Austria. And tonight you join me with my co-commentator, Spaghetti Chips. Hello.
How are we all doing, guys? And I think we've got 17, maybe even 18 drivers here tonight, and it seems to be a good one. Obviously, Monza around here, it's basically a slipstream and DRS fest, so we should see some really battles and really good overtaking around here with lots of DRS passes. As there's there's 2 DRS straights, and there's about 4 or 5 corners which are easy overtaking opportunities.
Definitely. I know that the drivers have been rather scared of Ascari today, probably the most deadly corner on this track. The curbs are really aggressive, and with that weight transfer at such a high speed, so easy to upset their car and go off. And I know the drivers will be very anxious about that, but we should be in for a good race. Already round 5 of 7 rather, getting towards the end of this sprint championship. Maybe it'll be wrapped up soon. We'll have to see. But yeah, it should be quite an interesting race. I'm looking forward to it. Monza, one of the best tracks on the F1 calendar, in my opinion. I'm not sure if we're having it on the actual 2020 season. I'm not entirely sure about that, actually. Do you know?
I'm not too sure. I guess it's just later on you'll know about that. But one other thing to really be aware of is the second chicane around here. Obviously, you've got the Ascari chicane, but also the second chicane. Drivers try to maximise the track limits around there. It usually ends up with some people hitting the curb a little too hard and going into the gravel on the left-hand side of that curb. It's deadly in terms of that. So it's really something else to look out for on your run around this track. But around here, around Monza, it's just trying to make the most of the track limits, because you've only got, let's say, about 6-7 corners really where you can make up time compared to your competitors if you can get them absolutely perfect. So in that qualifying lap, you're looking for using all the track limits that the game provides you.
Yeah, definitely. And I know Monza, I think it's one of the favourite of all the drivers, the temple of speed, of course. So you should be seeing some quite high top speeds. The drivers will be running low amounts of a wing. I just want to say that the reason we haven't started quite yet is that Vapor Hayden is just going to carry out a terrorist attack on Virgin Media, and then we can get going.
No, it seems like the reserve's in. I think we're about to ready up.
Hopefully. I mean, we've got 18 drivers, quite a big lobby tonight, so you should be in for this afternoon rather. Should be in for a good race here. We've got 19 drivers now, so just wait a moment for the message to ready up and we can get underway. But yeah, definitely going to be an interesting race, and we'll see what, I think setups and strategy might be quite important this afternoon. What do you think about that?
Well, obviously it depends if we're getting a dry or wet race here today. In Division 1 we saw a little bit of an intermediate race. There was a change in conditions throughout, so that would be something to really spice up the race here today. Obviously it's set in September, is Monza, so anything can happen. It can rain or shine, but I assume that would be a dry race rather than the wet. If it is dry, you're spending about 8-9 laps, maybe even 10 on the softs, and then pitting for the mediums is the optimal strategy around here. And yeah, I feel like if you can get an undercut or an overcut working, it will really help you out with strategy. Obviously, maybe getting stuck behind another car in their DRS.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the history of Monza. Of course, we all know that the Ascari turn is named after Ascari, but this track is one of the oldest in the world. It's the 3rd oldest purpose-built racetrack, just after Brooklands and Indianapolis. It was built in 1922. And the race has been hosted here every year since the Formula 1 began, apart from 1980. It's a 5.793 kilometre, so exactly 3.6 mile circuit with 11 turns. The race that record being held by Rubens Barrichello in the Ferrari F2004, which was a 1:21.0. Of course, it's got other parts of the course as well, such as the oval. Of course, we won't be using that part of their track, although that would be really interesting to see Formula 1 cars go around. But I don't think we're going to be seeing that tonight. But yeah, it should be quite interesting.
Yeah, if you're getting cars around here, like, you know, cars can go upside down and all that, like with all their downforce. We get to 20 drivers, we'd love to see that. With obviously rumours that the F1 cars can basically go upside down. I don't think they would really be too phased by what a 45-degree angle basically of the circular track, not circular, you know what I mean, oval track. But yeah, I think we should probably stick to just the normal layout that the F1 2019 game gives us.
Yeah,
probably for the better.
I mean, the short versions as well are quite good, but we're just going to get started with the qualifying session in a second. Of course, the history lesson with me has become a staple of the preamble to the race. We've got Brent predicting a pole position for Nuffle, so do let me know your qualifying predictions. Then after that, the race predictions. Looks like Storm not too happy about this track. Nuffle for the win, though, he does predict. And Nicholas Hoblin also, I probably completely butchered that name, but also predicting Nuffle. So clearly the favourite of this qualifying session. Let's see if he can live up to all of the hype, as we're just waiting for everyone to load in now.
I'm gonna have a little idea here. I don't think that Nuffle will get pole. I feel like we could get a TTG Storm pole. I feel like the race I've seen him, he's had good pace. He's been a little bit unlucky, but I feel like he could potentially try and get up there and maybe fight for the win today, and definitely maybe pole if he can get his lap all hooked up perfectly.
Interesting you say that, because he said, and I quote, "No chance on this track. I hate it and never practice it."
Oh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, we'll just get going in a moment's time then. The drivers will just be making sure they're on the right strategy, having a look at the weather outlook for the weekend, because that tends to be quite important. But yeah, full grid. We've got a McLaren leaving. That's Reckless. He's going to be first out of the pits then. 50 mile per hour pit lane speed limit here, and off he goes. It'll be interesting to see what kind of lap time these drivers set them and how that all plays out. But yeah, the McLaren of Reckless did very well last week. Let's see if he can follow up on that today. You can see Monza has its very dry race. Thank you. Monza has very unique curbstones painted in the style of the Italian flag as we head into the Seconda Variante. And I'm definitely going to butcher these Italian names this evening, so I apologise in advance.
Well, one other person I really want to do well here today is Sabinio, whatever you want to call him. I feel like he could probably pull something out of the bag as well. I've made a little friendship in the Discord chat with him, and I feel like he needs to show me a little proud here in D2. What I've seen so far from him, he looks like he's had some good pace as well. And I guess we're just going to have to see after this lap then. Around the 1 minute 19 we should be expecting for these drivers. But let's see what they can all do then, as they're all just warming up their tyres. And I believe Reckless will be the first one to start their lap.
So definitely non-BBC style impartiality there from the commentary box. But we're going to ride on board with Reckless as he starts his lap. You can see him all the way over to the right hand side, trying to minimise the run to the line and try and maximise that speed. You can see him lining up through Curva Parabolica. But here we go into turn one, heavy braking at about 125 metres through turn one, trying to maximise the exit speed here, then back on the power through Curva Grande. This is flat out. You can see bringing it all the way over to the right hand side here, trying to minimise that distance and try and shorten the lap length as much as possible. Heading into the Seconda Variante now, all the way over to the left. Got to be careful of that sausage curb on the right hand side on the exit, then up towards the Lesmos. He's off the track. The wheel spin just a little bit too much for him there, trying to be a little bit too overzealous on the power. That's some front wing damage, so he's going to have to go for another lap later on in the session. I think we've got Ricardo though. He's coming through the Curva Grande now. I'm just having a look. I think it might be Paulus actually.
Yeah, Paulus.
I was
watching Paulus actually coming through the second chicane. He hit the gravel as well on the outside, so it seems like it's a bit of a problem for these drivers so far in the session, but I feel like he's been able to... Oh, Civi's retired. Where's Civi lost that? Civi's lost that in between the two Lesmos.
Yeah, that's the two Lesmos. That's a very easy place to lose it. I'm going to hop up to Nuffle Bessie. Yeah, you can see he's lost it to the right-hand side. He probably just touched the grass, and he's dropped it into the inside barrier. That's a very easy place to lose it, I will be honest.
Shall we just continue with Nuffle then, as he comes around on his lap then, as Paolo sets the first lap of the day with a 20.3. Coming through the Ascari chicane, very clean through there, hitting the curbs just enough so then he doesn't get like off camber, off whatever you want to call it, just like keep it stable down towards Parabolica. We go then as Ricardo sets a 20.2. We're going into almost coming into the 19s now. Will Nuffle make it into the 19s? It seems like a clean lap from the McLaren. It's going to be a 119.3, 8 tenths quicker than anyone else so far.
Very quick lap from him there. We've got Jordan JT. He's heading up to Curva Parabolica now. He's got a couple of cars in front of him. There's a Ferrari and a Racing Point. That's Kieran there. He's going to take second place. He's 4 tenths off Nuffle Bessie. Let's see what what Jordan can do here as he heads across the line. It's going to be 1.4 seconds off, just 7 thousandths of a second ahead of his teammate. So let's get the lap times up there. And you can see only 2 drivers to set a 119 so far, although Hayden wasn't too far off. We'll see whether Nuffle can hold on to that pole, though. You can see Teethy Danny and Juan Xavier both on the medium tyres so far. That's quite an interesting choice. That's very generous there with the track limits, goes Frosty Calvin through the first turn. And we've got a Mercedes heading through loads of traffic, leaving the pit lane as he went into turn 1 there. Quite interesting. He's got his teammate of Otapa 8 right behind him. And we'll see whether he hinders his teammate, or I think they might just have enough gap to reduce that possibility. But that's the fastest Sector 1 so far there from Invisible. Heading it through the Seconda Variante towards the Curva de Lesmos. Through the first Lesmo. All the way over to the left-hand side of the track. A little bit on the Astra on the left. Then into the second one. Dab of the brakes. Back on the power. Through the Curva de Seraglio. Towards the Curva Ascari. Or the Variante Ascari, sorry. Which is a very high-speed chicane. And it's all about the nerve of the drivers as they head through there, using as much curve as possible. You can see a little bit of a slide there as he went right and then left again. He's luckily not been caught out by it. Heading towards the Curva Parabolica then, one of the most famous turns in Formula 1, and that looks like a Racing Point has dropped on the exit of turn 1. That's going very, very slowly, but we'll stick with Invisible for now as he heads towards the line, and it's going to be a 119.9. Just behind Kieran.
Yeah, one thing, that's why you saw a lot of people in the pit lane. You can get 4 laps around here. That's how short the track is. You can easily get in and out and do 4 laps. So that's why people are out early, able to do 4 laps. And then as Sopa goes and says a 21.1. It seems like, yeah, so the pit lane is not going to be full for a lot of the time. Not a lot of people will be in the pits for long, as it's an easy soft to medium. So there's no real point using another set of mediums in quali. So you'll see quite a few people just in and out of the pits within, 1.5 minutes to maximise their time out on track and maximising the runs they can do on this qualifying session with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, so yeah, quite easy to get a few on. Now we'll go over to Sabinio now. Here he comes then as he heads out of the first chicane towards Curva Grande. He's doing the similar tactic to what Reckless is doing, keeping it all the way over to the right hand side. That looks like the strategy this evening. Not sure if it will translate through to the race, but anyway, through the second chicane, using as much curve as possible. Definitely taking the liberty of those track limits. Still keeping it on track though. You've got to have at least 2 tyres on track, which is what they are doing. Into the second Lesmo he goes then, right onto the Astro. Ooh. Bit of a slide there. Doesn't look like it's affected him too much. He's going to carry on through the Curva de Seraglio towards Ascari now. That's the fastest second sector so far. That's purple.
Oh, he's gone wide.
Yeah, he's
that's
invalidated his lap. That's a big shame for Sabinio then. And he'll have to go for another lap later on. Fortunately, he has the ability to go for another lap.
Yeah, meanwhile,
a lot of time in the session.
Hugo, meanwhile you were talking, we've just seen a McLaren 1-2 with Reckless getting himself a 19.4 then. up in P2, so at the moment it's looking like McLaren are really shining everyone out the park today, with Nuffle even a 10th ahead of him, 10th and a half actually ahead of Reckless there in second, as they seem to be flying away from anyone. Can anyone reply? Is anyone able to get anywhere close to that time?
I'm not sure. We'll see how this all pans out during the qualifying session. We've got a tap at 8. He's leading a couple of cars through here. He's got one of the other McLarens and the Renault behind that. So we'll see what these drivers can do. Sabino will, of course, be looking to go on another lap, having invalidated at Ascari. Very easy to do because the curves are quite flat, but they're also incidentally quite aggressive, and they can really upset those tyres as you're right on the edge through that turn. We've probably got the McLaren heading into the pits, but across the line goes Tapper. Now it's going to be a 1:20.5, 1,000th of a second quicker than United Bosnia. You don't really get much closer than that unless you actually set the same lap time, so very close between those drivers there.
Yeah, it shows how close the grid is around here. Obviously, if we exclude the top 3 at the moment, the whole grid is separated by basically a second, except for Lucifer. I have no clue how to say that name, and one Xavier. So from 4th to 14th, 10 cars separated by less than a second, really showing how close this grid is, and we should be expecting some very good fighting here today. Some good battling, as I can see Renault coming through on his lap right now. I believe that's Frosty Calvin coming through the middle sector now.
Oh, Ricciardo splitting the McLarens! Sorry about that. Very, very quick there. Just 200ths behind Nuffle Bessie. Let's see how those two McLarens respond. I know Nuffle's going to be a bit shaken by that. He won't have wanted that. Alfa Romeo so close on the leaderboards.
Yeah, God, only 200s in that. Thank goodness you said that, because I was not looking at that. I was just keeping looking at Frosty Calvin as he comes through towards Parabolica now then. He's up on his lap time so far as he comes down into the final corner then of this track. Will it be something to really to showboat about as he comes up to the line? He's taking the shortest run. This is looking quick. It's going to be P9 with a 20.3. Lots of people in that mid to low 20 range, as Fidani goes P4 with a 19.6 as well.
Yeah, very. That was a little train of cars going through there all at the same time. I think we've got Ivor Brim Mike about to set a lap time, so he's just beginning. Let's see if anyone else is further on their lap time. We've got Jordan here heading into the second chicane. I'm not sure
Philippe's
if there's
on a lap.
anyone further on.
Philippe's up by 4/10. Philippe goes P5 and 19.6 as well. Good luck from the Haas there.
Indeed, and just having a look now, we've got an Alpha. That's the other Alpha of Ricciardo. He'll be heading back into the pits, I think. Although we have got Nuffle Bessie. Now, he's trying to defend as he sets up a lap. He's invalidated there, letting other drivers through, causing a yellow flag on his left. In fact, he's letting his teammate through as well. So interesting, the two McLarens maybe looking to give each other a tow along the main straight. Clearly, Nuffle Bessie, the prioritised driver there, being behind his teammate. So, team order. Oh no, he's actually gone back into the pits after that. So we've got Reckless heading out on a lap now. We've got a bit of a train quite close behind him though.
Yeah, in that train we've got Invisible, who's got a little bit of a tow from Kieran up to line then for the Merc, and he goes quicker with a 19.599, beating out Toofy Danny there for that P5 then. Only 2/10 off, so the top 5 at the moment separated by 2/10 of a second. Yeah,
really close between them. Let's see. I think Bosnia has just finished his lap. He's just ahead of his teammate there. 120 dead.
Sabino coming up to line. What's this going to be as well? First lap of the session from a 19.4, gets him P3. Ooh. Told you that he'd be up there. And he's got himself into that third place. Not too bad from the Toro Rosso. He's got one more lap probably to prove what he's got then. Very good from him there. Now McLaren's 1 and 4 with Reckless about to start a lap then. Who else is on a lap? Stumpy is not on a lap. Just having a look around. Huh?
Paulus is on a lap right now. And for some reason in my recommended, a video about Monza in 1961 has come up. So
anyway, Paulus coming through towards the end of his lap then. Don't know how this lap's been, but he's running out of fuel, so surely he's on very low fuel then as he comes through the final corner now. Parabolica Is this going to be something to boast about then? He's got a 20.3 so far. He's keeping on with it. It's going to be quicker. A 19.7, beating out Kieran for P9. Good luck there. Pushes United Bosnia down to P11. Probably a good place to start, actually. As we see, I think that's Savinio just running past her.
Yes.
Coming towards Parabolica as he's finishing his lap. Everyone now just getting ready for their final runs of the day then.
I think Bosnia is about to start. Paulus, however, is not on a hot lap. Savinio will have just done his, so he's probably heading into the pits now. Yes, he is. So we'll go with Bosnia. In fact, everyone seems to be in the pits right now. But yeah, that's a shame for you, Storm, with the DRS failure. Yeah, so not going too well. And Lenny is not a fanboy, just passionate about Savinio. Passionate is quite a strong word. Reckless says he can't get a clean lap in. Not doing too poorly though. In fact, he's got exactly the same lap time as Stumpy. Wow.
Oh god, yeah.
I've only just noticed that. That is very interesting. Let's see how he can try and retaliate. We've got Paulus. He's looking to, I think, go back into the pits. Behind him though we have a Ferrari. I think that might be Kieran. Yes it is. So Kieran's about to start a lap. We'll watch him then, because he'll be leading this next salvo. 3.5 minutes to go then. Not too long before we get underway.
All I'm going to say is top 10 separated by 0.4 of a second. It's going to be an interesting end to qualifying. Any one of these top 10 could be on pole at the end.
Definitely. I mean, look how close the drivers are. We'll have a quick look at the gap to the leader these drivers have. And yeah, the top 12 all within 3/4 of a second of Nuffle Bessie. So it really is anyone's pole position. And let's see how this all pans out at the end of the session. I mean, those top 3 are all within 1/10 of a second of Nuffle Bessie. So he's definitely not cemented into that pole position.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's predictions could be right, but at the moment I feel like Ricardo and Sabini are definitely the front runners to make that prediction not happen, then change the odds and make sure anyone is really just looking out. And oh wow, as Kieran tries to get a bit of a toe off of Storm there, getting very close to the rear of his car, and it seems like it may have actually hindered Ascari a little, and he's
oh, that is a big slide there.
Wow. And that's him. He's backing off his lap. He's got time to go for another lap if he wants to. So I don't know what's going to happen here for Kieran. He's looking like he's slowing down and maybe going once again just behind Storm. As now loads of people are starting their laps. Toothy Danny is on his lap coming through Ascari right now with Jordan just ahead of him. Jordan also on a lap. It seems like
they're helping each other out.
Yeah,
I think they're about to start their lap actually. Also, hello Formula Matt. Hope you're looking forward to the race.
Oh yeah, they are. Sorry.
Yeah, look, I think they're helping each other out here. The two Williams working together.
Yeah, it seems it. As looks like now Toothy Danny's going to get out of toe potentially coming out of the final corner. It seems like he has. And now he's got the DRS active for his lap. Then the Williamses are helping his Vapor. Hayden retires. Seems like in the pit lane. Yes, he does. And now people are really coming to finish their laps now. With some people out and out laps and some people finishing. Philippe on a lap. One of the top 8 is Reckless. Goes pole by 0.2 of a second.
Wow. Really quick there.
Stumpy goes P3 as well. Everyone started to finish their laps now. Storm coming. He's up on his lap time, but not by enough to get himself up into that top 3. Philippe on his lap as well. Then coming through the final corner now is the half driver. Can he get his way up through the standings then? He goes P8, he stays P8 with a bad final sector then. Other drivers still finishing their laps.
Toothy
Storm
Danny and
finishing his
JT
lap.
still right by each
Storm
other.
goes 11th.
Ooh, and I just noticed as well, Stumpy and Ricardo now separated by 0.004 of a second. So this is a really close qualifying session. I mean, that's not the first time we've seen such a minuscule gap, but here we go. The two Williams really towing each other along around this track. They leapfrogged at the start of the lap. Let's see what happens on the exit. The dirty air won't have helped one of them, and in fact I think Jordan was just trying to give his teammate a tow as Danny goes across the line. I don't think he's improved there actually.
No, he hasn't improved it. Now Bessie starts his lap with 13 seconds to go. This will be something interesting to keep an eye out on as everyone starts to finish their laps. Some people still not still on their outlap. Frosty Calvin won't get round in time to finish his lap, as now people are starting to finish their lap. Ivor Bryn Mike coming through the final corner now. Always run wide through Parabolica. That's probably going to really compromise his lap time as he runs up to the line with Frosty Calvin in behind. And he stays 15th. Frosty Calvin goes 13th actually with his lap then. And then Paulus in behind, I believe that is in P9. No, it's not. It's his teammate actually, Ricardo. And he comes into the pits. He's not improving. Paulus has to improve. So does Bosnia. He heads into the pits as well. Not many people setting very good laps in their final laps then. Storm on a lap. He's going to head into the pits as well, it seems. And then in behind we do have Paulus, 6/10 behind the lead. He's going to finish his lap here today, and he's going to stay in P9. Not a lot of people improving. We've still got Sabino out, and he's looking like he's had a bad final lap as well then. Can anyone else really challenge? Doesn't like Toothy Danny
Oh,
is as well
Invisible's
then.
run onto the gravel on the exit of the second Lesmos, and he's in the barrier, so that's going to bring an end to his qualifying session. And it looks
Seems like a bit of an anti-climax at the moment.
Yeah, Sabino into the pits, and Nuffle Bessie, he's going to be looking to get that pole position back from his teammate. Let's see what he can do as he heads towards Parabolica now.
Nuffle spun.
Left-hand side. Did he?
Yeah, Nuffle spun. Look at his lap time. It's a 1:35.
Yeah, that's really high. He's just going to bring it to the line anyway. And I think, yeah, that's an end to our qualifying session. We've got to wait for Sabino to head back into the pits.
Well, yeah,
a bit of an anticlimactic end, definitely.
Yeah, but look at that, Reckless 2/10 ahead, starting where he left off last time out. So fair play to the McLaren out there today. He had some great pace last time out, and it feels like he wants to replicate that today then in Monza. McLaren 1-2. Zach Brown will be happy about that one.
Yeah, the qualifying order is Reckless and Nuffle Bestie on that first row. The second row will be Stumpy and Ricardo. The third, Savino and Invisible. The fourth will be Toothy Danny with Philippe lining up alongside him. Then Paulus and Kieran. TTG Storm and United Bosnia will make up the sixth row. The seventh being Frosty Calvin and Vapor Hayden. Otapa 8 and Ivor Bryn White will be starting alongside each other. Jordan JT and Lucifo also alongside each other, with one Xavier and Original Civi rounding off the grid. And I noticed the reason ALT Maverick isn't here is because he slept through the joining phase of the lobby. So I suppose that explains something. But yeah, McLaren Power definitely wrecked this. I don't know what happened there, but immensely fast those two cars were. And we'll see if that translates into the race.
Well, yeah, it seems like a close grid in the midfield then. The top four, except for obviously the man who starts on pole, looked like there was only about a tenth within them. So it will be close up top, I think. And I feel like out of everyone, Reckless just got the lap in that he wanted. I don't think anyone really put in the lap that they really were very proud with. So Reckless just doing what everyone couldn't do then, 2/10 ahead. He obviously did something a bit different to every other driver out in the D2 grid today then. The question is, will that be repeated in the race, or will he have a lot of competition then? Obviously, he's going to be the head of the DRS train if he doesn't get out of it by lap 3. So it just could be very interesting to see how this race does pan out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just get our stuff ready on the left and right hand sides of the screen, so we'll just be heading off on the formation lap now. And I do think Reckless is in a good position to win. Do let us know your top 3 predictions though, and we will get underway in just a second. 27 laps to go. Let me just work out how many miles this race is gonna be. 27 times 3.6 97.2 miles, which is 157 or so kilometres of racing ahead of us. Very similar to most tracks, actually.
Yeah, one thing to say is that outside the top 10, Storm, Bosnia, Calvin, Hayden, Jordan and also Civi all starting on the mediums, looking for that alternate strategy, maybe a safety car later on in the race that could help them get up the grid then. If they can hold on to the back of the DRS train, the mediums could be good. and then they can have a strong soft stint at the end of the race, maybe to gain a few positions in the final few laps as everyone else's mediums get a bit old. Oh, look at that, Ricciardo in the background. He hits the wall on the formation lap. Surely has got some grass on his tyres as he comes to Parabolica. That's not what he would have been wanting. Seems
Slightly
like
embarrassing.
Yeah, just saw that on my as I was running through Reckless and Nuffle. I just saw him just fly off into the barrier. Thank goodness there's no damage on the formation lap, otherwise he'd be in a lot of trouble. But I wonder who'll have the most positions gained. Will it be any of the mediums drivers, or will it be the likes of Otapa in 15th, maybe on the softs? Could he be able to get past the 4 medium runners ahead of him in lap 1 then, as now the drivers are now lining up on the grid then?
Choo choo, the DRS train is coming into station here in Monza. Let's get ready to go. I think a safety car could be quite likely. We've got a full grid here. It's going to be quite a busy surface, and we are going to get underway in just a moment's time. The drivers will be syncing now. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are out, and away we go. It looks like a good start for Reckless. Can he defend from Nuffle? Nuffle tucks in right beside him into the first turn. This could be very interesting. Look at this, we've got 3 wide, Sabinio and Stumpy and Ricciardo. I think that's Ricciardo running straight on. No, Paulus, look at this though, 3 wide, 4 wide, Paulus letting them through. Look at that, Sabinio, Stumpy, sorry, and I think that was Ricciardo as well, just in that little battle there. The 2 Hassers though, they're looking to be side by side into the second chicane. Stumpy just about holding off his teammate for now.
Fossey Calvins, oh, he's gone into the gravel there. He's been hit by his teammate, and that's him down in last as one Xavier has left the session. Oh, there's more contact. Bosnia and Otapa's round. Oh, and he's returned to the track, but he won't be happy about that one in the slightest. Contact there through Lesmo 1 then, as now back up at the top. We see lots of action there, as look how close the top 2 are.
Danny down the inside of Paulus as they went into Ascari. Paulus has actually cut the turn, and look at this, the exit of Toothy Danny. Absolutely fantastic there. He's going to blast past that Alfa Romeo. But at the top, we've got the 2 McLarens who are really, really close through the curve of Parabolica. Let's see what happens as we go along the straight. Obviously, no DRS.
Round the outside, sorry. Invisible round the outside of Paulus. He took advantage of Toothy Danny's run and just went in behind. And now look, just in behind Invisible, we've got Kieran and Storm going side by side. Can Storm make anything of this, or will Kieran? Yeah, it seems like Kieran's going to slot in front there. Come through into turn 1 then.
Oh, look at this. Sabinio has taken second place and he's looking to take first. He is right behind Nuffle Beezy as we head through the Curva Grande towards the Seconda Variante. Round the outside he goes. This will translate to the inside for the second part of the chicane across the sausage curve, and that could be the lead. He's still side by side as we head into the Lesmos now. That's the lead of the race for the Toro Rosso there of Sabinio. Fantastic work from him. 2 positions in 1 sector, and it looks like he's going to try and hold on to it, although Nuffle Bessie might have a look into Ascari. Could be quite risky. You don't really want to be going side by side through that turn.
Yellow flags in sector 2. That is Mike, who's lost it through the second chicane. Doesn't look like there'll be a safety car yet, but a safety car through lap 1, that's something I wasn't expecting around Monza turn 1, as it seems like everyone's running wide out of Ascari. Then Nuffle is closing up on the back of Sabinio, as we've got more yellows for Paulus this time.
Ooh, that is a look and a half from Nuffle Bessie into the Curva Parabolica. It looks like Sabinio might have run slightly wide. Will the slipstream come in handy for Nuffle Bessie? Of course, DRS will be activated this lap. Across the line, Sabinio actually taking the fastest lap so far. Reckless though, he's right up the back of his teammate. I think he's going to leave it to Nuffle Bessie as they head into the first turn. Nuffle backing up. There's contact. Yes, there is. Is there damage to that McLaren? To the lead of the 2 McLarens. Has he got damage from that? We saw he had a slight tap.
No damage.
No, his front wing does look fine, which is good news for him, I think, but that must have been a heart-in-mouth situation for those 2 drivers there.
Yeah, it looks like Sabinio's just going to be causing a little bit of train action. Top 10 within a second of each other, with Storm rearing that train then, 7 tenths behind. The only mediums runner inside the top 10 is Sib at the moment, out in front. It looks like he's about to get tracked down with the DRS now activated. Nuffle only 2.5 tenths behind. He may have a look down into Ascari. Look at him, he's looking for it. He's so close. He's going to go for it down the inside of Ascari.
Oh my goodness.
Run wide though. Sabinho on the inside has got that position back. Very good judgment there from the Toro. So two McLarens though. Reckless looking for the move as well. It could be 3 wide down into Parabolica. And Reckless does back off there as he hits it back to Sabinho. Sabinho's round.
Oh, there's big
crash.
contact. He's hit Reckless, and he's hit a Haas, I think. No,
Invisible.
He's hit Invisible.
Well.
Oh dear, that is really bad news for those top 3. There's the yellow flags. And look at this, Sabinho with a 5-second time penalty there. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but look at this, Reckless on Stumpy. He's got the position. Ricciardo is side by side with Nuffle Bessie as they head out of turn 1 towards the Curva Grande. Down the inside goes the Alfa Romeo on the McLaren, and I think that might be the lead of the race for Ricciardo. Oh, Ricciardo. I'm just going to say Ricky Ricciardo. That's the name. And look at that. Ricciardo does take the lead of the race. Fantastic work there from him. This is a real race. Look how close everyone is, even on that right-hand side. Even after all of that contact, there really isn't too much of a spread between all of the drivers.
Well, yeah, that was something there as a lot of contact in that at Paramodica there. What can I say except, it seems like Nuffle actually going to try exactly the same as move as last up. He's going to get it. Yes, he is this time. But is Ricciardo going to reply to that? That's the question. Oh, Ricciardo's lost it. Oh, looks like Stumpy could be on. Yes, Stumpy's on for a move round the outside. And now he's off into P2. Look at this.
The gonads. Oh, that's damage. Oh my goodness, that is not good news. That is Ricciardo, isn't it? End plate is missing. Reckless could take the opportunity here. But the gonads on Nuffle Beezy were probably what gave him that extra downforce through Ascari to make that move work. Absolutely insane. As look at this, Reckless almost going straight into the back of Ricky.
Good reply though, Sabinho already up into P11 after that crash then, setting them fast up in the race so far. Already trying to make his way up into that train then. He's got 3 seconds to gain, and with that fast up, it seems like he's got the pace that he needs to close up to the back of Jordan on those medium tyres. He's got a little bit more pace in those tyres than the Williams right now. And look at that, for the lead. Not fully, sorry, Nuffle Bessie's lost it.
He's lost it to Ricky as well, although Ricky does get re-overtaken. I think that was a switchback move there from the McLaren.
On the inside as well goes Nuffle and Philippe there. The top 5 are always chasing Stumpy now in the lead. And look at that, Ricciardo now round the outside. What a move this could be. Oh, he's hit the gravel on the outside of Ascari. And now Nuffle's going to have to slow down because of that. And now they're going to go side by side as Ricciardo probably not too happy with that front wing damage he's now got. That's going to really limit what overtaking moves he can do. Is now Philippe tries to get up the inside of the Alpha on the inside there as we've got yellow to sector 3. There's been contact and Frosty coming down this race.
Yeah, and
Safety car.
What? Oh my goodness, what hasn't happened? And look at that! Some of the drivers, look at that, Nuffle really getting it so lucky there. He was at the pit entrance as that safety car was brought out. Is that safety car for Frosty then? I'm going to have a quick look at Invisible, who's about to come up to where Frosty lost it. Did Frosty lose it? It looks like it was at the Ascari chicane.
I think his car's gone. I think there's a bit of contact between him and Hayden that caused it, because Hayden was very slow out of that corner then, and it seemed like they were both tangled together. But at least this will close everyone back together then. And it seems like a few drivers are going onto the hards then to finish the race. Then it's going to be a one-stop to the hards then instead of the mediums. As Nuffle making the most of it, as he at the moment in P8, he could be on. He's at the strategy called of a life, and he could be on for a good race here. Toothy Danny on the mediums. Can they be stretched that far?
I don't know. That's going to be a big ask, but I've seen in the comments apparently Ricky has massive lag. I don't know. I can't really see it from this perspective, but yeah, what a dramatic opening set of laps. I mean, the lead of the race must have changed at least 5 times throughout those first 5 laps. But yeah, some of the drivers very lucky with the timing of that safety car. Obviously, others not so. Those top 5 Maybe even top 6, just didn't manage to get into the pits in time. But I think those hards, they'll definitely make it. Some drivers are electing to go onto the softs, maybe going soft, mediums. I think Toothy Danny, though, soft, medium. He might go onto the softs if need be.
Sorry, Reckless just got so back to the back of Stumpy as we see round 2 pit stops then with all the second drivers and the drivers who are just in behind or just missed the pit lane. And will this help Nuffle? Where will Nuffle come out in all of this? He's been able to push now. Is Nuffle going to retake the lead of this race?
He's benefited because he hasn't had to go round on a slower lap than the other drivers.
He's done it. Nuffle's taken the lead. He's taking provisional lead.
Jordan JT is technically in the lead. He's caught up to the safety car.
Yeah, so Nuffle is taking the provisional lead of this race now. With a Haas 2-3 provisionally. I'm going to say provisionally a lot now. But look how close everyone is. A lot of difference in tyres that everyone's choosing. Lots of mediums, lots of hards. And 2 people on the softs. I don't understand why softs would be the best tyre around here, but
might be going for a 2-stop, maybe deciding just to stay off the hards for the whole race.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, it seems like now this could really open everything as drivers on mediums. We're talking about Stumpy, we're talking about Ricciardo, and also Kieran and Toothy Danny. Gonna have an absolute pace. Gonna have so much pace on those tyres compared to anyone else. But one thing that these drivers are going to have to be very aware of as the lights go green is their tyre temperatures. People on the mediums will be able to respond much quicker to the safety car coming in than the people on the hards then. Could be a little bit of grip.
I've just had some news that the AI chose Xavier's tyres to go onto the softs. Rector says he feels so terrible, and he's apologising to Sibby, which is good. It's a big shame about that. Hopefully Sabinho can make a return. He's in 11th place. He's not too far away from that top, so he could have a go. You driving and riding, yeah, definitely don't text and drive. That's against the law. Unfortunately, this is a lawless land here in the F1 game. If you've ever joined an online lobby, you'll know what I'm talking about. Message retracted. Ooh.
But yeah, so from what we see, I think Xavier may head into the pits once again. Oh, he's lost his... Oh yeah, he's not in the session anymore, is he?
No, that's probably he probably rejoined. Oh no, is the AI driving his car?
Well, he's not driving, is he?
Oh yeah, so the AI has actually chosen that. That's quite funny.
But Vapor Hayden, on the other hand, has actually chosen the softs.
So that's an interesting strategy. Maybe just wanting to stay off the hard tyres. Maybe nowhere near enough pace on those. But Sabinho's saying it wasn't Reckless's fault. Okay, it's your AI, isn't it, Xavier? And someone saying, let's see how driving on ice cubes go. Of course, that hard white does look like an ice cube, in all fairness, on that left-hand side.
Oh, Saul getting so close to the back of Toothy Danny there, under the safety car. Looks like just need to keep your speed. Don't push the limits here, as yeah, it seems like yeah, as I said, with everything, the tyres are just going to not warm up as well on those hards, so they're going to have to do a lot more weaving than the mediums runners, and mediums runners will be able to just go and fly out of the blocks then, like the likes of Stumpy. And I feel like Jordan's probably in a very good position right now.
Yeah,
I can't lie to you.
And I just seen what Nicholas said. Ferrari AI doing a Ferrari strat at Monza. Couldn't get more Italian than that. But the safety car is coming in this lap now. And the drivers will probably be coming off their phones, or hopefully anyway. And we'll get underway. We're almost a third of the way through the Grand Prix now. Xavier has rejoined, which is good news for him. Just in time for the restart. Hopefully he can regain control of his car in time. But here we go, Jordan backing up the pack. Of course, he's only going to be on a one stop as well. It just means he hasn't had the essentially free pit stop everyone else has had. Although he does currently have track position as we head through Curva Parabolica now. We go green here at Monza. Let's see. Yes, he goes. Nuffle Bessie will be looking to try and keep up. He'll have less grip. He's on the hards, although they're slightly less worn. Yellow flags all over the track, but no, that was just the game. As Nuffle Bessie looks to retake the lead into turn one. Down the inside he goes, under braking. Behind we have the two Hasses, side by side, Philippe and Stumpy. Stumpy back down the inside. No, that's Philippe even. Philippe taking the lead off of Stumpy. Stumpy trying to have another crack back down the inside through Curva Grande. He has managed to pull it off. He's holding that third position for now. This is a battle for podium between two teammates. You don't want to see too much action between teammates, of course, as that can always be quite risky. We've got Reckless, though, who's going to be looking to get past Ricky Chiardo as he heads out of the next turn. He's getting close to the cover. De Lesmos, is it close enough? No, it's not quite, but look at that. Those Hasses really battling through those first couple of turns, and we have got quite the train going on. This is good news for Sabinho, but look at this. Kieran on Reckless, round the outside towards Ascari. They're going to be side by side. Can he pull it off into Ascari? He's going to be round the outside. I think he's going to back off, though. Clearly a little bit too risky to try and mull off a side by side, although he's got a fantastic exit, and he's going to take 6th position off of Reckless on the exit there. Absolutely
He's lost it out of Ascari.
Oh,
he's lost
no,
it out of Ascari at the back. VSC.
Virtual safety car. Oh my goodness.
Well, Stumpy's just got past Jordan. Oh no. So Stumpy didn't get past Jordan. I don't know who's ahead there. Okay, Stumpy got ahead of Jordan there. This is helping the medians runners a lot here, I've got to admit, because it's just making sure their tyres don't get as worn. But that was vital for Stumpy to get ahead of Nuffle before the VSC then, as of course now it'll be a run between mediums versus hards then, as we go back to green then, and Stumpy now has got a job in his hands to get within a second, which he's already done on Nuffle. He's had a better restart, and now it's going to be mediums versus hards, and I think we know who the victor will be there as we go side by side between Ricky Chiardo and also Jordan. Oh, it's Ricky Chiardo's run deep.
Yes.
He's got a 3-second time penalty for that with corner cutting, probably deserved there, as now Bosnia loose.
Big bounce of lag I just had. I don't know if you experienced that as well. I'm not entirely sure what's happening.
Oh, contact there again! Oh no! That's Hayden, Lucifer, and Hayden's out the session now. There's more contact early on in this race then after the safety car. More drivers involved down at Lesmo too. Seems like someone tried to go on the inside and that just didn't work. It looks like Civi has got damage from that in the tour also as well then. Seems like no safety car or anything there then. As the top 10 seems to be in a little train just behind Ricky Chiardo.
And the lead of the race goes Stumpy past Nuffle Bessie on the straight without the assistance of DRS. He might have that position into turn 1. I think he can hold on to it. Can Nuffle get the exit he needs to defend, though? That is the real question. Stumpy absolutely pulls away on the exit of turn 1, and that's the lead of the race for the Haas. I don't know if that's on my end or the driver's end, but look at this, Jordan JT and Philippe down the inside. I don't know if this is my internet.
This is your lag. This is your lag.
No.
This is your internet. Hopefully it's okay now. Yeah, I think you're okay now. I think you're okay. But yeah, it seemed like just a lot of battling at the moment. Yeah, nice lag. Hugo, just speak real quick.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's okay. I think it's all okay as we come through now through Ascari. Like Jordan is really holding up a little bit of a train here. If you get past Jordan, you're going to be doing well. And it seems like Reckless has got that next job as we fly on board with him now. Then as we've got more yellows and Invisible's out of this race now.
That's
looks
the
like
exit of Ascari.
Yep, Ascari being deadly. And we've got another VSC to play with.
I do.
Will anyone take the shot into the pits? Will Jordan head into the pits? No, Jordan's staying out once again.
I do apologise for this lag. Let me just give my brother a quick shout.
Meanwhile, we're just getting ready as Hugo tells his brothers to get up the Wi-Fi because let's just be real here. I feel like we need all the Wi-Fi we can get because this is going to be a race to really talk about then. As another VSC, and it seems like we're about to go green once again then as everyone's just closing up. Seems like everyone was on the accelerator for a second there, as now coming down towards the second chicane, and it seems like if you can get past Jordan, you got a good shot of getting a podium, as Jordan seems to be the moving chicane at the moment. As we're still under this VSC, then the Storm gets a 5-second time penalty with severe collision with Toofy down there.
Virtual safety car probably. But yeah, you can see Reckless is really trying to line up this overtake on Jordan JT as they head towards Ascari. Can he get that position done? He's really catching up here. Oh, he's had to back off. Oh, there's contact. Jordan has spun through Ascari. He's not going to be happy about that.
forced off track there, was it?
I think that was just a tap in the back. I believe that Reckless broke slightly later, just trying to lift off into Ascari, hit the back of Jordan. Jordan span. But I think Toothy Danny and TTG Storm, that must have been 5 seconds because it was under the virtual safety car. That's all I can perceive. But look at this, Sabinho on TTG Storm. That's up into 8th place now. So definitely doing a decent recovery drive as there's yellow flags in sector 3. That's out. Reckless. Where's he out?
Pit lane.
Has he hit the pit wall?
Oh, I feel like that's a pit lane retirement. I feel like he feels bad. He's been in 2 incidents now.
Maybe.
I feel like he feels bad. That would be my my judgment of that one. We've got more yellows. That's just a Reckless just coming out the pit lane. But Nuffle still on the back of Stumpy then. As we're down to 1 McLaren now. As I don't think Reckless is happy with his performance out on track today then. As Storm's got another penalty to his name then. As they fly through the middle sector now. And it seems like Ricciardo's now got a bit of a job on his hands. So does Kieran to close up to the back. Philippe as well on the back of the Ferrari. Seems like a lot of action. This little train behind Kieran all the way down to Storm in P8 then. Looks like Storm trying to hold on to the DRS. So is Sabinho. Both on the hard tyres with Toothy Danny ahead. Who's right in the back of Philippe then. Is very close in between those two. The Williams seems to have a better exit out of that corner as they're now going side by side down towards the Parabolica, and it seems like now, yes, Toothy Danny's got the move, and we've got more yellows with Lucifo now having a bit of an issue at the back of the grid. We're down to 15, and I don't think any little battles are over yet. Monza's still got a lot to show as Sabinho's now past Philippe as well then. And now Sabinho up into that P6. He closes up to Toothy Danny for P5. Then he's run a bit wide through turn number 1.
A bit of a wheel spinner there. And that forced Philippe to kind of back off. And that could have cost him the position to Storm. He's had a rubbish exit out of that first chicane. And yeah, Reckless, sorry man, I understand that it must be quite frustrating for you about what's happened in the race. Hopefully you're not too down on it. But yes, we have got Storm quite close. This train could be quite interesting. This is the battle for 4th position. Sabinho really on a recovery drive though. Those hards will definitely take him to the end. He's behind Toothy Danny as we head along the straight. We've got a battle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars here. Look at this. We could see Storm on Philippe into the Variante Ascari. The DRS of all of these cars helping to defend from the car behind, but Philippe has a 3-second time penalty there. Although to be fair, Storm also does have a couple. We've got Toothy Danny on Kieran. This is for 4th position as we head towards the curve of Parabolica. It looks like Danny must be running higher wing because he really dropped back once he pulled out of that slipstream. He will have the DRS along the main straight though. I don't currently have the Love Championship standings, but Lenny, maybe you could get that up because Toothy Danny is trying to make the overtake on Kieran. Down the inside he goes with the DRS to help him, and it looks like he might just have 4th position. He's still going to have to defend as round the outside goes Kieran, and it looks like he's just about defending. Look at this, Sabinho could get past Toothy Danny. They're side by side as we head along the straight now through Curva Grande. Doesn't look like Sabinho's backing off, nor does it look like Toothy Danny's backing off as Toothy Danny's box index to Kieran. We could see 3 wide into the Seconda Variante. Down the inside goes Sabinho. It looks like he might just have that position. There's contact behind him. And look at this. I think Kieran's got damage. Yes, he does. That's front right end plate damage for that Ferrari. Clearly not the biggest issue because it means he's probably got less downforce, giving him more speed. Although that might just be me. I don't know if that affects your speed as well. But yeah, that is not good news for Kieran. And Sabinho, he must have received that because I heard there a little bit of contact between the cars as we headed into the second chicane. But yeah, look at that. Sabinho up into 4th place. He could get a podium, which would be a fantastic recovery drive from him.
Well, yeah, Sabinho, as you asked about the standings, Sabinho at the moment leading the championship, 9 points ahead of Nuffle, as at the moment he's doing a good recovery drive. If positions stay as they are, Sabinho would still be ahead by 3 points in the terms of things. So if he can close up, is more the better. More of a lead in the championship, as it seems like Nuffle Bessie is just going to close down that championship moment. But the question is that I'm really putting on my mind, will the median, I don't know.
Sorry, can you say that again?
I feel like Nuffle, will the medians go to the end of the race? I don't think they will, because So then that could really open things up. So let's have a look at the hard tyre runners. So Nuffle would get P1 if for the medium drivers pit. Then Sabino P2, Felipe P3, and Storm on P4. And Storm now goes past Philip actually around the outside of Lesmo 1. What a move there, as Felipe had a bad exit. And fair play to him there.
Indeed, yeah, I know those mediums. They're definitely going to drop off as well. Anyways, they're probably going to start losing time as it is, which could give the hard runners what they need to try and get into those top 3 positions. That would mean Nuffle, Sabino, and TTG Storm getting a podium, even though he appears to detest this track. A bit of a moment there, a bit of a side for Storm actually. As I said that, he's on the hard tyres. They're roughly evenly matched with those mediums. Philippe
up the inside for P7 then. Good move, just a clean move up Parabolica. And I feel like Storm may reply to this as they're now going side by side once again. Who gets the DRS? Storm gets the DRS on the back of Philippe. He's going to tuck back in to the slipstream to get that extra speed then. And now going to pull out to the left-hand side then. Down towards T1 we go. Philippe's going to stay on. He's actually going to pull out of that one. As now tries to get the switchback potentially. As now, no. TTG Storm goes up. And look at that. Now flying away from Philippe now. 3 attempts in it. And it seems like Philippe is now just going to hold him behind as Storm tries to close up to the back of the Williams with Toothy down who he had.
I thought he was just like, no. But yeah, we've got Kieran as well. He's quite close behind Sabino. So Sabino is going to have to try and break this DRS train. Jordan JT going into the pits onto the soft tyres. Interesting strategy call. Will those softs make it 10 laps? Maybe he's going for the fastest lap actually. That would make more sense. Because I don't think
softs will go 10 laps.
Will they go to? Okay.
Softs go 10 laps.
All right.
I don't think mediums go 20 though.
No.
As look at that, Jordan now up the inside of Juan Xavier then coming through the Curva Grande then up towards the second chicane. And who's going to take P14 out of this one? It's like Juan Xavier is backing out of that one. And the Williams of Jordan is going to take P14 with ease there on those new tyres. And now he'll be flying through the pack as soon as possible.
So we've got Toothy Danny quite close behind Kieran, who is quite close behind Sabino, although from what I can see, I think Sabino's beginning to pull away, although the DRS is really not helping him. Yeah, Matty, I agree. Yeah, he probably is going for the fastest lap because it's a point. You don't have to finish in the top 10 to get the fastest lap point in this league. So 1 point's better than none. I don't think he was kind of.
Oh, Xavier's retired.
No, he's retired.
Lost it.
So yeah, that's on the exit of Ascari, and I'm just having a look. Not good news.
Oh, safety car, VSC.
Virtual safety car. Okay then. I think that is really interesting. In fact, Stumpy is about to go past the Carcass now, although... Carcass, did you get it?
The question is, will anyone head into the pits then under this VSC and try and hope? Yeah, it seems like maybe some of the medium runners may use this VSC to the better, as the hards will lose a lot of pace. If I was Stumpy right now, I'd go pit for mediums.
Would you?
Yeah, 100%. Those mediums aren't. I'd pit for softs then, but no. Seems like the Hash is staying out of the pits then. Will Ricky Chiardo head into the pits then? We don't know. Seems like everyone's staying out of the pits.
They value track position. I think they're valuing track position at this point. Of course, we've only got less than a third of the race to go, and I've just realised we're competing with the Austria 2016 full race replay. Yeah, 4th virtual safety car. That is correct, Brent. Hopefully we see no more. I'm not going to make any promises though, but look at this. Stumpy's already 3 seconds clear of Nuffle Bessie as the safety car does go in and we go green once again. Toothy Danny still close behind Kieran, but look at that. Savino's really increased that gap and he's going to be trying to catch up with Ricky Chiardo. Yeah, but Toothy Danny around the outside through Curva Grande we go into the Seconda Variante. Can he get that position? It's going to be the inside line for Kieran as he's forced over the sausage curves, really compromising his exit there. And that's going to be 5th place for now for Toothy Danny. Can Kieran, though, try and strike back and retake that 5th position? He's got the pace. They've been quite closely matched, although Toothy Danny does appear to be pulling away a bit. We have got DRS along this straight up towards the Ascari chicane, though. A bit over the track limits went that Ferrari. I'm not sure if that's going to be something for the stewards. But Paulus getting a 3-second time penalty. In all fairness, Paulus really had a shocking start to the race. He went straight on at the first turn, and he also had damage. He's not doing too badly though, down in 11th place. He's definitely made up some positions from dropping towards the back. Brent asked, what would the tyre percentage be for mediums?
Oh, you're going to be very close to the by the end of the race. My goodness, it's now Kieran round the outside. It seems like the mediums still have a little bit of grip in them. But look at that, round the outside Kieran goes. And a great move there to get himself up into P5. So it shows there's a little bit of grip left. But I just can't see them going another 7 laps. They're going to be right at the end of their life. I don't think they can do it. Also,
you can see the rate Sabino is pulling away is quite impressive, and that's going to give Storm the opportunity. He needs to get past, but I noticed that, I remember Kieran still has that front right end plate damage. That's going to mean less front downforce and probably more understeer, meaning more front tyre degradation. So he is not going to be too happy starting on pole here. Is Curse. This is reckless, and he's clearly speaking from the experience of the race so far. But look at this, Kieran leading this little pack here. Storm is catching up, but you can see this. Sabino now. This is for the podium position. He's right behind Ricky Chiado as we head into the curve of Parabolica now. Can that Toro Rosso take that 3rd place? He's got about, I don't know, 8 laps or so. Yeah, he's got 8 laps to try and get into the podium position. I think he's going to do it, though. Ricky Chiado is on medium tyres. And Nuffle Bessie will be looking to take the win here. He's on hards against mediums. His odds are 1 lap older, but look at this. Past Ricky Chiado goes Sabino to take 3rd place. That's going to be the podium position. Slight amount of contact, but look at this. Toothy Danny also getting past Kieran. This little ding-dong battle here, and I think there was more contact there. Has Kieran sustained further damage to his front wing? I'm not entirely sure. It looked like he did have a slight tap to the back of that car through the Prima Variante into the Seconda Variante. Can that Ferrari take 5th position back of Danny? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it quite yet. Ricky Chiado, though, not dropping back from Sabino too quickly. So those mediums still in a decent state for now. But yeah, those mediums will definitely be in the puncture zone at the end of the race.
Well, yeah, look at that now. We're coming to what should be basically the end of the mediums stint now. This should be lap 20, 26, 27 right now, with the mediums 15 laps worn, as they're starting to get to the end of their life. I feel like they've got a little bit left in them, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting close to puncture territory by lap 27, as now Kieran round the outside, coming up to Parabolica on Toothy Danny, and that seems like a pretty easy move for Kieran there. Toothy Danny maybe trying to take the benefit of the DRS on Kieran down the main straight, and this could be a return move very quickly. And look at this now, the Williams closing up to the back of the Ferrari once again. It's Mercedes versus Ferrari power down towards turn 1, and look at that, up the inside we go. It's Ricky Chiado now gets past Sabino as well into turn 1, as looks like that battle's still going on. Then it's going side by side between the two cars here. Then Kieran on the outside, Toothy Danny on the inside, coming through Curva Grande now. Looks like Kieran's got that, but will Toothy Danny's got that, but will Kieran reply to that? It doesn't seem like it, unless he sends it up the inside, as he doesn't do that. Coming down into the second chicane then, as Toothy Danny seems to have that position for now, but will the DRS zones, will that be for long?
I'm not too sure. I mean, those mediums are predicted to die in the next 2 laps, to be honest. This DRS train, though, it could be anyone who comes out on top of these little 3 out of Storm, Kieran and Danny, of course. Those front 2 on the mediums, Storm might be just trying to line it up and get ready to make that move. I mean, Sabino and Ricky Chiado, they're still battling, so those mediums clearly still have a little bit of life left in them. They're not completely worn. Although for how long that lasts, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I just don't understand how these mediums can go another 4 laps. As someone said, yeah, Reckless said the medium's going to be dead on lap 24. They're going to be dying very soon then, as look at that, Sabino maybe showing us exactly what Reckless is talking about, as now coming through towards turn number 3 then. Seems like Ricky Chiado does have the pace on Sabino at the moment, to be fair. And he does have that front wing damage as well, so I don't know if this is Sabino just being a bit careful, It may be down to maybe the penalties of Ricky Chiodo. He's got a 3-second. He's got a straight 3-second. Savino actually has more penalties than Ricky Chiodo.
Maybe. I mean, I've just noticed that Kieran went for a little bit of a trip across the curves at turn 1, so maybe a little bit of understeer. Looked like there was nearly contact with Danny, nothing too big though. But that is a shame for you, Reckless. You clearly put a lot of time into this weekend, and unfortunately it hasn't paid off. Hopefully for next week we can see a return for the second last round of the championship. But look at this, Toothy, Danny and Savino. Savino is going to be... Toothy, Danny.
Chiodo.
No, Ricky Chiodo and Savino, sorry. I'm just having an absolute...
And then Kieran and Toothy Danny in behind as well. They're exchanging positions as well with Storm in behind. This will be a good indicator, actually. Storm on the hards. Both of these guys ahead on the mediums. And this could be a double overtake, potentially, for the Racing Point. And look at that. Ricky Chiodo does get overtaken by Savino. But look at Storm here. He's going to get past Kieran here. And potentially also Toothy Danny can get this move right. Where's he going to go? He's going to go to the... Oh, he's...
Virtual safety car. And once again, it has gone badly for Paulus. Yeah, that is... Where is that, actually? That looks like the exit of turn... that's Ascari as well. So, not good news for him. That is a virtual safety car. As someone just pointed out, the gap between 1 and 2 starting to close. This virtual safety car is going to be hurting Nuffle a lot. I think Stumpy made the right choice to stay out on the last virtual safety car. Nuffle is closing.
The gap is starting to close.
Yeah,
I just want to see how much Storm, if Storm can get past Toothy Danny in these past 3 laps. And this will be an interesting one, because now, surely the mediums are dead. I've just got to be truthful here. They surely, after what? So many laps, now we're going green once again. Jordan's got a drive-through penalty for speeding underneath the VSC. And look at this.
Storm's going to get into Ascari. It looks like, oh, it's side by side. And look at that. Kieran coming out of nowhere. There's a slight tap. Oh, on the exit. That was a lot of argy-bargy onto the gravel goes Storm. And that's going to lose him the position again. But through Curva Parabolica, Storm could try and get this position. That gap's extended a bit. I mean, he's been ever present behind these guys for, I don't know, the last half of the race, I think. Just not finding an opportunity to get through. They're passing each other so much that there's never been a chance for him to try and make an overtake. However, now might be the chance, because Kieran doesn't... He's using his DRS, actually, but he's going to be a lot further away from Danny than Storm is to him. However, he's run wide into turn 1. He's gone very, very deep, and that's going to be 6th place for Storm there. Yeah, 5th virtual. Nuffle will win, says Reckless. Hope Nuffle has enough ERS. Nuffle does need to push.
Do I mention penalties here or not?
I say we leave it. We leave it.
We leave it. Okay.
It's more fun that way.
I know the penalty situation. I won't spill it. Yeah, it's still the gap that Nuffle's closing at the moment. It's not enough, I don't think, to take the win away from Stumpy. Just my opinion. He's lost 3/10 in this lap. That's yellow flags somewhere on the track. I don't know where.
That's sector 1. I can't see any though.
It looks like Civi. Maybe it looks like I've been Mike's going for faster lap. Then Civi now gets past for P11. Then only 1 more point, and then he's in the top 1 more position in his top 10. Ricky Chiodo still on the back of Civi, and we're now on lap 26. Surely Stumpy's tyres are dead. He's got 2 laps now to make sure he doesn't get a puncture on those mediums. They must be at the end of their life now.
He's got to hold it. He's got to hold a gap of 3.5 seconds. That's going to be a really big ask for the Haas driver. But look at that Nuffle. He's going to have to make up about 1.5, 2 seconds over a lap for the next 2 laps. It's going to be a really big ask. But Storm on Kieran again. Kieran trying to retake that position. There's a little bit of contact. Storm holding out for 1 lap longer. And I know Philippe is going to be trying to get past these guys as well. He's beginning to make himself present at the back. But look at that. The gap between Nuffle and Stumpy is still 3.5 seconds. I don't think Nuffle can do it right now.
Yeah, also with the ERS that they both have. Nuffle has got 33% ERS to Stumpy's 70%. That is... I feel like Stumpy has got this in the bag. Touch wood here. He's got 1 more lap to go then. And I believe he could be one of the first ever reserves to win a race in Intelligence Racing League then. Coming through towards the final lap then for the Haas driver. What a result this would be for the man in the Haas then, as we only gained 2 positions in this race, had a good quali, and now 1 lap to go. The gap is 3 seconds.
Snuffle can't make that. Unless Stumpy makes a mistake or has a puncture, even 3 seconds isn't going to be enough, plus making the move. I think Stumpy, yeah, he could be the first ever reserve to win a race, which would be quite extraordinary, I will be honest. But look at this, Storm on Toothy Danny. This could be his last opportunity. Aggressive movements from Williams. Not enough of a gap for Storm to make a move, or sorry, too much of a gap to make a move for Storm, as we are now on the ultimate lap of the race. This is the deciding lap. That gap is down to 2 seconds between Nuffle and Stumpy as we head through the Curva de Lesmos now, through the second sector.
Yellows, that's Ricciardo. Ricciardo's hit the wall. I think he's hit the wall, definitely hit the grass there.
Yeah, he's got damage.
He could lose time, and he could lose a position here to Toothy Danny and Storm. They're closing up quickly. So is Philippe, actually, trying to go up the inside of Kieran into Lesmo too. Nuffle Bessie picking up a penalty. He picked up a penalty on the final lap.
And this could be Stumpy, the Haas, coming through Curva Parabolica now for the last time this afternoon here at Monza to take the checkered flag here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. And it's going to be the first reserve to ever win a race here at Intelligence Racing League. Sabinho with the ultimate recovery up into third. And look at this, Ricciardo losing 2 positions on the final turn. And that's going to be all the way down to 6th. He had that moment on the final lap. Storm with a penalty, so Ricciardo makes up that position. Kieran also makes up a position as they heads across the line. Not too far ahead of Philippe. Philippe with a time penalty though. And look at that, Bosnia only 0.2 of a second behind Storm. I think Storm had quite a few penalties actually. And here we go. Ivor Bryn Mike. Storm's already left the session. A bit premature if you ask me. But here comes Ivor Bryn Mike then. In 10th position, the last points playing position. And look at that. That gap to Nuffle Bessie was 7 seconds from between those top 2. So yeah, he had it in the bag, especially after Nuffle picked up that penalty on the final lap. Here comes Civi though to take the line.
Fastest lap for Civi, so no one inside the top 10 gets an extra point then.
There will be interviews.
Lucifer takes P12 and then taking was actually P1 for quite a lot of the race here today as the safety car came out. Jordan takes home P13, the final paying position here today then.
What a race. I mean, I don't think anyone expected that. You can just tell by how exciting that was by the comment count. We will be inviting those top 3 to the podium interviews once they've done their podium celebrations. Number 69 there coming home third. I think, personally, driver of the day is going to go to Savigno. He just did such a good recovery after that incident at the beginning of the race.
Personally, Savigno, very good recovery, but I've just got to give it to Stumpy. Stumpy just did what he needed to do. He had a lot of VOS in the drain if he needed to defend. He did everything that he needed to. Started P3, kept out of everyone's way, and yeah, got the win. Fair play.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that good work from him. You got to be honest. Nuffle Maddox engineer confirmed. We'll just go through the final order then. Stumpy, Nuffle Bessie and Sabinho all on the podiums, followed by Toothy Danny, Ricciardo, TCV, Meh Kieran, TTG Storm 72, United Bosnia, Philippe N and ESW Ivor Bryn Mike. Rounding off the points finishers, the other drivers were Original Civi, Lucifo and Jordan JT, the DNS being Paulus H8, 178 2002, Reckless, Invisible 1710 15, Vapor Hayden and Otapa 8 with Frosty Calvin rounding off the DNFs.
Yeah, fair play to the drivers here today. A good race as expected, and yeah, I think interviews are in order for these drivers. Then great result for the reserve of Stumpy there today. Then now we get ready for some questions and letting the drivers know.
Definitely. So if you do have any questions you want us to ask, let us know in the comments down below. Let me just invite Stumpy. If you want to suggest the person, Sabino, and I'll invite Nuffle Bessie as well. Come on, sorry. So slow. Is Nuffle Bessie still in? Am I going to have to do this the hard way? Yes, I am. Just to bear with us. 2 seconds. Hopefully they still have... Hopefully they will have mics. Yes, Stumpy is in. Hello. Good. How are you doing? I mean, that was a good drive from you. I'm just going to invite Nuffle as well, and we can get underway, because they probably they can't hear you yet, so select other players. Underscore. I've invited Nuffle, and yeah, I've invited Sabino as well. So hopefully they can join. But I mean, we'll get underway with you first, Stumpy. How did you feel that race went?
It was all right for me. Being a reserve driver, I didn't really know sort of the league standard, so I was a bit wary at first. But once it was all right, it was time to get on with some good racing.
Yeah, I mean, not too bad. Nicholas, just wondering why you decided to pit. Why you didn't decide to pit for hards instead of the mediums?
Now I can. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So what was your choice then? Obviously pitting onto the mediums instead of the hards then, because at the end of the race those mediums must have been shot.
They were on 71% at the end. So, like going through a Ascari was squeaky bum time.
So why did you make the decision to go into mediums instead of the hards then?
I knew they could last. I knew it would be a bit sketchy at the end, but as long as I used my throttle application properly, I didn't think I'd be going out. So, I knew I could get a gap initially.
Yeah, but fair play. Obviously, you got this gap away from Nuffle as he joins the party now, and I feel like your reserve. Obviously, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're the first reserve to win a race in this league. So that's something you got to take away.
Oh, woo! Yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun.
Yeah. Nuffle, we'll probably move on to you next. You finished second. How do you think that race went?
Well, it was quite a good one, I think. I mean, I started second, I finished second, but yeah, a lot of things happen. Of course, with Sabino in the first, I don't know which lap it was, in the last corner. I don't know if that was my mistake or his. Via. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, so.
I didn't know because I didn't know you were still there. I thought you was behind me again, but you were on the inside and I didn't see you. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, then the safety car came and I pitted for the hards, and my engineer told me that I was the only one on the hards with Sabino. So if the other guys would have pitted, because I was thinking Stumpy needed to pit in the last few laps, but he didn't, that I would win the race. But yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that answers the question from Jav as to why you decided not to push towards the end.
Well, I was pushing, but I mean, I'm not the fastest one on this track, and I was already pushing the last 5 laps, I think. But I didn't find more pace, so I was pushing. But yeah, thanks that you guys think I'm not pushing, by the way.
It's not me, not my words. But yeah, we'll move
I tried
on
everything
to
I could, but yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on to you then, Sabino.
Yes.
Yeah. Take it away.
Yeah, very eventful. I didn't know what happened in the incident. I won't blame anyone. Also, I'll have to rewatch it, so I won't blame Nuffle. So yeah, if I rewatch it and I see it's his mistake, I can report it. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I won't blame anyone. Good recovery, so P3, I'll take it.
Yeah, it was a really good race for you there. Obviously, with that incident, what did you think of that incident early on with Reckless?
The incident with Reckless, I don't know. Don't think that wasn't really an incident. So yeah, I don't know. I'll rewatch it and I absolutely don't know. It was middle in the race and I was fully concentrated, so I was thinking just bring it back onto the track, make a recovery and try to get as far up as possible. So
it seemed like it wasn't too bad of a job there, getting yourself up into an elusive podium spot there.
Yeah, exactly.
As Hugo, I think, gave a little bit of a driver of the day performance actually to you with that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Anyway, I think we'll probably end that there. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the race, because we all certainly did. And I will see you next time.